Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports, we're going to learn that you can actually name a bobsled Let's Go Brandon, and it actually works out because everything goes downhill after that.
Yeah. They named it Biden.
Yeah.
And it all went to shit.
Anyways, big news. Super Bowl, our pick didn't pick out. We almost got it. Rams did win. What was it? And you said today we're on the let me click on that one. The what is it, Black Monday?
Yeah.
For NFL.
Usually a lot of coaching personnel moves are made and announced, but today there really wasn't a whole lot.
What are you talking about? Not a whole lot. David Coley from the Texans, Joe Judge from the Giants. Well, we knew Joe Judge. Brandon Flores from the Dolphins, Matt Nagy from Bears, Mike Zimmer from Vikings, Vic Van Goey from Broncos. Stephen Hawking, help me out. I call upon the power of Stephen Hawking. Fangio from the Vikings, Urban Myers from the Jaguars, which we already know, John Gordon from the Raiders saying that he resigned. But that are all the coaches that actually got fired. Only one resigns. And Sean Payton retires.
Yeah.
From the New Orleans Saints. So.
Well, okay. So we had the Bengals picked to win this game.
A lot of people wanted the Bengals.
Damn it. The Bengals almost pulled that shit off.
I know, right?
I mean, literally that little shovel pass that he kind of flipped the ball out there at the end of the game.
Yeah.
To avoid the sack. That was literally inches from being the smartest fucking quarterback play of the entire year.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that got pissed off about that. They're like, oh, why is he doing that? I was like, if it panned out, y'all would be singing a different tune.
Like, oh, look at him. He's going to be the next Brady or some shit. I'm like, you know what? That's a cool story, bro. But, you know,
I actually had an argument. Someone saying that Brady wasn't a GOAT. He's like, oh, he's just this. He's just this. I'm just glad it's not Tom Brady. I'm like, really? You're one of those people that
passively watch the NFL.
That not even that. It's more of a person that looks on the negative on almost everything.
Yeah. Well, Cooper Kupp, he got the MVP of the game, and I'm okay with that. I mean, literally, the guy is probably one of the hardest working wide receivers in football.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the guy didn't deserve to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. Sam Darnold, he finally got him a ring. Odell Beckham Jr. got him a ring finally, even though he either retore or aggravated that ACL blowout from a couple of years ago.
I wonder if he's actually going to retire after that. Because if he blows it out. I mean, they can work some magic, but they can't work a lot of magic.
Yeah.
Unless you're Magic Johnson, they can work as much magic as they possibly can to cure fucking AIDS.
So let me see here. No. Oh my God. Okay, so let me see here.
Why are you doing that? We're going to go on the Olympic game count so far. Norway is in the lead with 9 gold medals, 5 silver, 7 bronze.
Yeah, that's
Germany
not
is 8.
It's not a surprise.
Germany is at 8.
Mm-hmm.
USA is at 7. Netherlands is at 6. Austria at 5. Sweden is at 5. China is at 5. And
I was so racist. Why am I echoing?
I don't know.
So
Russia is at 4. I thought they had more than that.
is that better? Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. I don't know. I got to figure out.
ROC, that's Russia, right?
Yeah, the Russian Olympic Confederation. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds better, doesn't it? Yeah, it doesn't echo in my ear. So yeah, I guess. All right, never mind. And go ahead.
Yeah. France got 3, and Switzerland is at 3. But it looks like what we still got another week or so. Yeah. Another week
I
of the
don't know.
Olympics.
I'm really
But it's February 4th to February 20th. But USA jumped up. They were like number 7, and then they bumped up to 3rd place with a couple of wins. The women's slope style.
half the half the U.S. athletes will be disqualified because the Chinese will find some kind of bullshit to disqualify them on.
Well, they're just not paying the right people like they usually do.
What, the U.S. or the Chinese?
Chinese.
Wow. Well, they're hosting, so they don't have to pay. But yeah, the Super Bowl. I mean, first half was basically all LA. Then the Bengals came out, scored 17 unanswered points in the third quarter. And well, no, 17 unanswered points because they scored a touchdown just before the half. And man, I'm the first play from scrimmage in the third quarter from when the half came back. First play from scrimmage, it was like a 74 yard play, 79-yard play. No, crap. Hold on. Okay, yeah. It was a 75-yard play. But you know, from what I was hearing on the radio, because I was driving back from Houston. So, you know, what a lot of them were saying is that Joe Burrow really never got into a rhythm. And there were, you know, and a lot of the pundits, radio personality, experts, and everything like that, they basically said that LA was supposed to be there. LA was supposed to have won the Super Bowl because they went out and spent the money to bring in the personnel to do it. The Rams were not built to win next year or the year after. They were built to win this year. And it's mostly because they wanted to make sure that Aaron Donald got his ring. And I'll say this about Aaron Donald. The guy is a generational talent. We don't see generational talent a lot. I mean, we see people with amazing hustle, amazing foresight, great football IQ, good baseball IQ, good basketball IQ. And that just means that they can see the field of play or the court a lot differently than other people. It's almost like they can read the code of the Matrix while they're in the Matrix. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Aaron Donald is, I mean, there was even, I mean, there was even talk that he was thinking about hanging it up, but I mean, he finally got his ring. Von Miller, they signed him on a free agency deal from Denver. Uh, Von Miller's already got a Super Bowl ring with the Broncos, but he said that I wanted to come to LA specifically to help Aaron Donald get his ring. That's all they were on a mission,
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp, he, trying to keep him bottled up the way that they did during the first half, he still managed to get a touchdown. Actually, I think he got 2 touchdowns in that game, but what I think is funny is that Matthew Stafford for years struggled in Detroit. Struggled. Absolutely struggled. And so he comes to LA, gets a good system, gets a good offensive line, has actual talent that can work around him. And he goes out and wins a Super Bowl. What does that say about Detroit?
Yeah. Because
is
they
that
tried to do the same thing. I mean, but there's Detroit's team is still fairly new-ish.
well, that's because they keep trying to blow it up every other year whenever the formula that they put into place doesn't yield any results. And it's like, hello. There are Cowboy fans that remember the year that they went 1-17 or some shit like that. They had a 1-win season, and then they get a winning season, and then they go to the fucking Super Bowl three out of 4 years.
Yeah, they really do need to have get the players on a team type deal.
Yeah,
I remember you can pull this up. Andy Snuffs, he had to do a team building exercise with the U.S. polo team.
Mhm.
Basically, he put them through Hell Week, a day. Actually, no, it was about an 8-hour Hell Week. The coach was like, just get do your worst. And he's like, right on. I don't want to fucking be here either. So he just put him through the freaking Hell Week ringer for the SEALs.
Yeah.
And it and what a lot of people don't understand about like Hell Week, one part of it is to break you down to the point where to see where you go from, but it's also a team building exercise too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's all the spec ops type deal. It's more team building exercises.
Yeah. And what's funny is that, like, there's an adage that says that if you lose the turnover battle, 99% of the time you're going to lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals did not turn the ball over at all. I mean, with the exception of that turnover on downs in the first quarter, they didn't give the ball away. The Matthew Stafford threw 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow didn't throw any interceptions, and they still lost the game. They didn't. There was no fumbles lost. Yeah, nobody fumbled at all. I mean, Cincinnati had 0 turnovers. Period.
I mean, they made them work for that win, and
they did.
It was a great battle.
Yeah, the time of possession was 30 minutes and 47 seconds to for LA to 29 minutes and 13 seconds for Cincinnati.
Damn.
I mean, it was that damn close. Cincinnati, I think part of their downfall, their offensive line, which had been, pretty good at allowing Joe Burrow time to get out of the pocket and time to make plays all playoff long. I'm eating peanut butter by the spoonful, people. Don't fucking judge me. Or
If
judge
you
me.
watch
I
this
don't
on
give a shit.
YouTube,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
But
If you're listening to this, you have no idea.
it just sounds like I got peanut butter stuck in the room in my mouth. But I mean,
I really want to say it.
no, go right on ahead.
The whole putting peanut butter on your balls so the dog would lick it.
I'm not lonely. Okay.
I just every
LA
time
gave up 2 sacks. Matthew Stafford was sacked twice. Joe Burrow was sacked 7 times, which coincidentally was a Super Bowl record. It tied a Super Bowl record for the most sacks by one defensive unit in a game.
Oh wow.
So
That was another
Cincinnati
thing I was wondering.
they
who
only
was
made
the
21% of their third down conversions, whereas LA made 40% of theirs. And
That's a quick question I didn't think of. Were they both the best offensive team or best defensive team?
They were both number 4 seeds. I don't know what their offenses and defenses were ranked. I know that they weren't the number 1.
That's so weird and off because usually it's the number one offensive team and number one defensive team usually.
Yeah, usually. Cincinnati really hurt themselves with a lot of dumb fucking penalties. Like
there was a
some
lot
guy running in off the sideline with fucking socks and sandals to help celebrate in the end zone. Get your ass back on the sideline, dude. I mean, they probably would have still had to punt on that possession, but you took your team from the 20 to the 10. You put them in a hole early on a drive because why? You couldn't contain yourself. Come on, dude. That's not a good look. Unsportsmanlike conduct. I think there was like 3 of those. It's like, seriously? And then the 2 penalties that LA had called against them were false starts. They were pre-snap penalties.
Mm.
Yeah,
there was a lot of penalties like at the end of the game.
There was, and it was so retarded. Cincinnati had average yards per play. They would get 5 yards per play versus the 4.7 per play for LA. Rushing yards, LA got outrushed 79 yards to 43 by Cincinnati. LA outpassed them 270 yards to 226. But they still edged them out total yards. This is how close the game really was. LA had 313 yards of total offense. Cincinnati had 303. Talking a 10-yard difference. One single first down. And let me see here. So Joe Burrow went 22 for 33. He had 263 yards in this game, 1 touchdown pass. Joe Mixon was the leading rusher for the Bengals at 15 yards. He had 15 carries for 72 yards, average 4.8 yards per carry. My question was, as I'm watching that final drive, why wasn't Joe Mixon on the field? Especially on that 4th and 1, right there, when it mattered. You didn't have your running back on the field. You went with an empty set. That allowed Aaron Donald to get back there. You get away from your game plan. You run it right up the middle. LA was having a hard time stopping it. You could have gotten the first down and then opened it up. Pure, plain and simple. But, we'll never know. And honestly, I think losing the first Super Bowl is going to be good for Joe Burrow's career because it's going to make him hungry. I mean, absolutely make him
Well,
savagely
I don't
hungry.
know, because a lot of the people that actually win the Super Bowl and everything, I think there was one, I can't remember who it was. They won the Super Bowl, and as soon as they won the Super Bowl, reporters like, "Oh, what are you going to prepare for now? Are you excited and everything?" No, I gotta go prepare for the next year. It was just,
Right.
it was a downplay. I don't know who said that though.
But there's no saying that Matthew Stafford's coming back.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said earlier, and Al Michaels said it last night. The LA Rams were built to win the Super Bowl. They were purposely built to win this year. And a lot of times when you see professional teams build a roster to win that year, they flop the next year.
Yeah. And they're real. I think maybe the Bengals might make it to next year.
I don't
I know they're going to be
I
contending.
know that Joe Burrow's going to get better.
Yeah.
He's gonna spend a lot of his time this offseason relaxing, and a lot of time this offseason reviewing film. He's going to learn how to break down defenses a lot better, and he's going to learn how to go through his progressions and his checkdowns a lot more fluidly during the offseason. Because when he reports to OTAs and preseason training camp, he's going to come in and he's going to be on a mission type stuff. So I mean, look for Joe Burrow to come out fucking red hot shit next year. Yeah, I mean this he's just I think we obviously know that he's got the talent, but his drive is going to intensify because he wants to get back to that game.
Mm-hmm.
And listening to some of the pregame interviews and a lot of the interviews that they gave during the week on Radio Row, you hear Joe Burrow talk about, I'm not going to say what a stereotypical quarterback response is. I mean, it's tired. It's cliche at this point, but a lot of what he was saying is like, look, I mean, we can be proud and celebrate the fact that we're here, but we've got a job to do and we have to go out and win a football game.
Yeah.
And he wasn't looking to be like, I'm playing in the Super Bowl. He's like, yeah, the nerves are going to be there, but it's like, ultimately at the end of the day, you've got one more game to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think next year he's going to go into it and he's going to be like 1 week at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 week at a time. And he's going to improve. I think as a player, he's going to improve. Now, whether or not Cincinnati gets behind him, decides that they want to draft properly, if they want to make the right off-season moves to build an offensive line that will protect him, then I say go for it. But Awuzie, the defensive player for Cincinnati, he came over in a free agent signing from Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an interception last night. And, I'm just like, oh boy, this dude. And the other guy was Jesse Bates. I think Jesse Bates was the one that caught it in the end zone. But, it, I like the core group that Cincinnati at least brought to the game. If they can bring a lot of these guys back and get them to buy into this system, because that head coach that the Cincinnati hired for the season, he's not going to go anywhere for a little while. He's got the city behind him. He's got the team behind him. The ownership group obviously is behind him. They may make a couple of tweaks here and there, but as far as like coaching staff, things of that nature, they may figure out linebacker coach or maybe a secondary coach. bring in somebody that can offer different perspectives on how to use the system that's in place. Or they may come in with a brand new defensive coordinator. I have no idea, but Cincinnati's got some soul searching to do. They've got a good primary building block to base their foundation on. But as long as they don't go and have themselves a fire sale for the sake of having a fire sale, I think they'll be okay. They will be a force to be reckoned with, and I think that they're going to own the AFC North for a while. And you just kind of look at it, and I don't want to make the parallel to Joe Burrow to Tom Brady, because I'm not anointing him GOAT Junior by any stretch of the imagination, because so he said Tom Brady won his first Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
I think that Joe Burrow is going to come in and he's going to, and he may reach out to some of these other quarterbacks around the league that have won championships, and he's going to be like, what is it that you guys do? I mean, I want to learn. So he may end up reaching out to people like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers and be like, hey, I really want to know what it is that you guys go through as far as your prep, your preparation for each week. What is it? And it's well documented that Tom Brady showed up first and stayed late, kind of a thing. I mean, like he lived and breathed the film room. Because I mean, he could analyze the defense and make make a change at the line of scrimmage if he needed to. And Joe Burrow, I think to a degree, he may be beholden to the city of Cincinnati, to the state of Ohio, to the Bengals organization. But because you rarely see these franchise quarterbacks get traded around the league, unless they're like later on in the career or something like that, or like Jimmy Garoppolo, who quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. He bounced around from a couple of different teams. Followed Tom Brady for a lot of his career, and then ended up in San Francisco, and then he got the Niners to the championship game, to the NFC championship game this year. I don't know if he's coming back. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting offseason for the NFL. This is definitely one of the better seasons that I can remember. And I don't know if it's so much the fact that we were, watching it for the picks and, things like that, and paying attention to the different storylines. But
yeah, that won't happen until April anyways.
Yeah, but this was an entertaining season to watch, and
it
was
really
probably
was.
it was probably one of my more favorite seasons to watch in recent memory. Because I mean, hello, I mean, come on, everybody, seriously, I'm a baseball guy, so I mean, I've even got a bag of fucking sunflower seeds on my desk, so it's. I mean, it's no mystery who I would, what sport I would pick to watch if I was on a desert island. But
yeah, pretty soon the only thing we're going to be able to talk about is a little bit of Olympics, baseball, and hockey.
I think it would probably behoove me as the proprietor of this particular show on our channel to get a little bit more educated about the game of basketball. Speaking of basketball,
you really need to do that, only because of one thing and one thing only.
And my fiance is a basketball nerd.
Yes,
and her dad is a basketball coach.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird. First meeting him, it's like, oh, what do y'all talk about? NFL, NASCAR, and baseball. Why don't you cover basketball? Well, Johnny's the sports guy, and he's an idiot with that.
No, it's not that I'm an idiot with it. I just don't fucking like basketball. I just don't.
I can't. I mean,
now,
I'll watch
I say that. And if my fiance hears this, it's going to kill her a little on the inside. That I can't. Like, I just, it's not that it's not that I want the game of basketball to be erased from the annals of history and disappear from the timeline. You had one job, Thanos. So yeah. So LeBron came out with yeah, somebody from the New York Post snapped a picture of Snoop Dogg smoking weed right before the halftime show at the Super Bowl. It's like,
That's like
how
having
is this
Chong.
even remotely news?
That's like having was it Chong? Yeah, Chong being arrested for drugs. You know he has them. It's like, why are you doing this now?
Yeah, exactly. Um
I mean, even in the Super Bowl commercial with him with the light, his new sponsorship with the lighter, they like played around with it, and someone was like, "Oh, I got a picture, Snoop's smoking pot," and
yeah,
you sold
somebody
that? How did you make any money? I mean, there's got to be like an archive of that.
right.
I mean,
Okay,
he
so
does it on live
in
videos.
typical LeBron James fashion, he tried to hijack the Rams winning the Super Bowl by, he wants a joint parade um, for his Mickey Mouse title. And I say Mickey Mouse title because even though the Lakers didn't win the NBA championship last year, they won it the year before during the COVID year. He wants the city of Los Angeles to have a joint parade. Let me see if, okay, we Dodgers and Rams should all do a joint parade together. We live with a live concert afterwards to end it. City of Champions, 3 cups, 3 rings. Congrats, Rams once again. It's like, okay, seriously. So I'm like, all right, hey, just maybe somebody want to tell LeBron that we're a couple of seasons removed from the bubble that the Lakers won, and they're.
No,
I mean,
maybe
really.
someone should just go up to him. It's like,
How
you need
about
to sit
worry
down.
about making the playoffs this year, LeBron? I mean, just a little hint. You're 26 and 31, lucky to be in the West. I mean, theoretically, the Lakers are still in 9th place right now.
Yeah.
Just kind of putting that out there. I mean, those of us who had to suffer through Space Jam 2,
I didn't.
see what kind of a shit actor
And he's so
LeBron
trying
James
to be.
is. Well,
He was actually
got
somewhat
nominated.
decent in Trainwreck.
He got nominated for a Razzie Award for Worst Actor in a theatrical release.
That's awesome.
I mean, it'd be funny if LeBron skipped a game just to go to the Rams parade and try to make it celebrating the Lakers somehow.
He would. He would.
I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, it's a little insane to think about it. But
It's
I mean,
almost as bad
you
as
wouldn't have any
Kanye
choice
West.
but to laugh. You really wouldn't.
It's almost as bad as back in the day when Kanye West like just ended up like what he did to Taylor Swift and what he did to Michael Myers.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I honestly think that this might be a low point in Lakers history, and not James, not what James Worthy said, but I mean, James Worthy said that the Lakers are at the lowest point in their 40-year history, in 40 years after they lost to a quote YMCA team.
Who
Talking
they
about
lose
the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that happened.
Well, I don't see I honestly don't see.
But trying to sneak their way
point
into a parade that's for a completely different team in a completely different league, a completely different sport, that is some JV Bush League shit.
It really is. It's one of those moments. It's like, dudes, really, what the fuck are you doing? Sit the fuck down. and they're starting to get up. It's like, no, you sit the fuck down.
Right. Well,
they just need someone there just to do that.
Right. Like in college football, the SEC is basically for the last decade or so been the majority of the dominant football conference, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
it
how
would be like it would be like
football.
Vanderbilt or the University of Kentucky or fucking Ole Miss trying to throw a parade because Alabama goes out and wins a fucking title.
No, even better. It's like the newscasters from Anchorman when they had that newscaster brawl. That's basically what's going to happen, but it's going to be like different sports teams.
I think LeBron just needs to go ahead and retire, and he needs to go back to Ohio and just live out the rest of his life, understanding that he is not relevant and he just needs to soak up the residuals from his shoe sales. Pure, plain and simple. Nobody gives a fuck about LeBron James anymore. Not that they ever did, except for the people in Cleveland and the people in Miami. Nobody actually cared about LeBron James past what he could do for them on the basketball court. Because as soon as this guy tried to make himself relevant as in part of the political conversation, or tried to make himself relevant by, making movies or anything else like that, the guy completely exposed himself. And I'm not talking about the indecent exposure kind of way. I mean, like the guy completely exposed every weakness he has ever had and will continue to have until the day that they put him in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, LeBron James wants to be so much like Michael Jordan and or Kobe Bryant that he's either willing to pay somebody to go look for his deadbeat dad and have him shot and killed on a backwoods county road, or possibly get into a helicopter and crash into the side of a fucking mountain just so that people will remember him. I mean, I know that that's a spicy ass take,
but no, you're absolutely right.
I mean, I love it when LeBron James fails, because it's like I get to use the term LeBron, well, he didn't, and it's like don't James, I mean, the guy, I don't give a crap how talented he is. He whines, he bitches, he flops.
He's not as focused as a lot of the other players that actually really not do like 100 times better than him.
He relies on his name and his quote unquote talent to keep him on that court. And he is not afraid to throw management.
Geez.
Yeah. I mean, he's not afraid to throw his management, his coaching staff, or the front office people under the bus at all. I mean, this dude is not afraid to air his dirty laundry. And then as soon as somebody tries to call him out on his crap, he hides behind his contract. He hides behind the union rep and is like, look, I'm being treated unfairly. Or, and this is stereotypical of today's society, he plays the race card.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro.
Even if it's an actual person of his ethnicity, that he would still play the race card.
He's not even a consistent NFL fan. He's been seen at Cowboy games wearing Cowboys gear, rooting for the Cowboys. He's been seen at Browns games wearing their gear, rooting for them. And now all of a sudden, oh, I'm an LA guy. No, the fuck you're not. You're just some lucky shithead that got drafted out of high school from Ohio. You brought those poor fucks from Cleveland something to cheer for the first time in their lives since the Indians became relevant. Yes, I said Indians, not the Guardians, because that's just a stupid fucking name. Anyways.
Yeah, okay.
The best thing to happen to Ohio was the day that LeBron James left and took his shit show out west.
And on that note, I guess that's it for the episode.
Angry me got a little angry there, didn't it?
Yeah. Angry me got angry.
The nerd portion of the show. The new Doctor Strange trailer came out.
Yes.
And Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier was heard at the end of it.
Yes.
So I was like, ooh. Because Jack Reacher, I finished it. Wow.
Yes, that was awesome.
And it's already been renewed for season 2.
Yes, it has, and I'm so happy about the guy that's playing Reacher right now
Oh
that he
yeah,
got the part. He did. I've always liked him, even when he played Aquaman in Smallville.
yeah, yeah.
He was
But
pretty
I mean,
good.
he said that like it was him and like another like 150 other guys that got asked to audition for the role, and you know he just wanted to focus on being Reacher from the books, you know, because it's always described Reacher didn't, you know, Reacher said nothing. He just
Yeah,
walked into there and it was like, and you know, I loved that. I mean, that whole season was just great. I mean, they didn't rely on, I mean, yeah, you saw your tits and you saw your ass in there, whatever. But they didn't rely heavily on the sex because it wasn't about that,
I
like
think
at
there was
all.
only like a couple of
There
sex
was,
scenes. I
yeah, I
think
think there was only
one,
two. No,
two.
one. That's right.
Yeah,
And speaking of Smallville, the woman that played the wife of the dirty banker,
yeah. She was
she was Lana Lang.
Lana Lang. Yeah, Lana
Yeah.
Lang.
I was like, oh hey, that's what happened to her. Great. I'm so glad to see her working again.
Well, she works all the time. It's just she's mostly working on stuff in Canada
Oh,
because that's where
oh
she's from.
yeah. Oh, that's right. She is there from she's a Canuck. That's right. I totally forgot that, eh?
Yeah.
Um, and if you're a part of our Canadian listening audience, give your
Oh,
balls a tug there, tit fucker. Speaking of tit fuckers, Shorzy, the trailer for it, the spinoff for Letterkenny, was released today. That is going to be a fucking great show. I cannot wait for that to come out. See all these segues I'm just throwing out there, man.
I
Just
know,
going on
I
a
know.
roll, and you're wanting to kill it and just
Well, I always finish up early, so
all
most
right.
women are
And all
depressed
right. So
about that.
let us not forget, okay, that we are recording an episode of Nerd Sports on Valentine's Day. And if you don't
I had
sell it,
this.
wait,
I did,
let me finish.
okay, go.
If you don't celebrate Valentine's Day as Valentine's Day, happy Single Awareness Day.
Thank you.
But seriously, if you have somebody, tell them that you're thinking of them. Don't get all like, oh, I'm gonna get you fucking chocolate and flowers, and is then all you're gonna do is just hand them something that's gonna die soon, and then just remind them that hey, while you're sitting there commiserating in your singleness, eat chocolate and get fat. There you
Yeah.
go.
No,
Yeah.
I've actually me and my coworker talked about this today because I thought about it today, but
Mhm.
I he said something. I was like, look, I did this. I was like, because he got his wife a plant. It was like a $55 plant, but it was one of those things that I was thinking about. I was like, I was thinking that too. Why do people just give pretty much dead flowers and not like a live plant? Like, hey, see if you can keep this alive. If you can't, maybe I should shop somewhere else. You better find a green thumb pretty fast.
Yeah. Um. Oh. John Berthnall's Punisher.
Hmm. He's wanting to come back to Punisher.
He is,
Oh,
and
he is.
he's getting a new MCU Punisher series, but it's going to be on Hulu.
Yeah, all the
Oh, and that pisses
gritty
me
stuff is
off.
going to be on Hulu. Well,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no.
So
All the Fox's stuff is on Hulu now,
right.
and
See the Netflix
oh,
series, like the
and
Daredevils.
they brought back Futurama.
Yeah, but the guy who did the voice of the original Bender did not come back.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of people petitioning that they will not watch that show unless they do they do recopies where they come back, you know, they have the original voice actor for Bender come in and do the voices,
why
do the
doesn't he come
voiceover.
back?
Something to do with scheduling or, you know, something about the contract or something like that. And they were like, you know what, fuck you, we don't need you. And they brought somebody else in. From what I understand, it doesn't even sound like Bender.
Mm,
But but yeah, the Netflix is starting to slowly pull down all of their Marvel series.
mm-hmm.
And it's because Disney came in and said, we're just going to cancel these contracts now. And it's like, because they're trying to pull all of their material over to the Disney Plus side. And I'm like, oh, please don't go on Disney Plus. I was like, please let it go to Hulu, because at least at that point we can keep the cuss words. Because all right, so you remember that? Did you ever see that movie, The Adventures in Babysitting?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that scene on the subway where the gang is about to fight, and
Mm-hmm.
and the gang leader throws the knife in that dude's foot. And he was like, "Don't fuck with the Lords of Mayhem," and she pulls the knife out of his foot and sticks it in his face and goes, "Don't fuck with the babysitter." They edited that scene on Disney Plus, and it says, "Don't
Really?
fool with the Lords of Mayhem." And I was like, "What? Come on." I mean, I tried to get past that scene. I'm like, it just ruined it for me. I'm like, "Ugh, way to go, Disney." And I'm like, come on. It's like your kids are going to hear that crap. And that there's this entire catalog out there of movies that have less than reputable words, because let's face it, a lot of the stuff that like Touchstone made, a lot
Like
of the stuff that
Legend of Vox
TriStar
Machina.
Pictures made, they were made in the 80s. In the 80s, well, we tried to fit the F word as many times into a PG-13 rated movie as we could before you got that R.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say, let it go. But if they're going to move it over to Hulu, and John Bernthald's getting a new series over there, fine, great. I want to see what they do with it. I mean, especially if Kevin Feige is going to have anything to do with the direction of the series, and the fact that it's going to be tagged as an MCU event, awesome.
They are also doing the trailer for Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Oh, the Ring of Power. Yeah, I saw the teaser for it last night on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a series, right?
Yeah, it's going to come out September 2nd, I believe.
Well,
there's nothing coming out. There's nothing coming out on Disney Plus. And Peacemaker's last episode is this Friday too, or Thursday.
yeah, I haven't even started Peacemaker yet.
Oh, dude, that's fucking hilarious.
I get that it's going to be hilarious, but I'm just kind of like, dude, I've got so much on my plate right now that it's not even funny. I haven't finished. I haven't even been able to sit down and finish the last season of Lost in Space.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude, I've been busy.
Yeah.
I
Of
mean,
course,
I've only got.
I had a talk with a friend of mine because he's like, you have a side hustle and do you have any time to yourself? I was like, no, not really. I have to schedule it. I literally have to schedule all my stuff because I'm usually always busy. And someone's like, hey, can you help me out with this on Saturday? It's your choice to. I was like, not this weekend. So what are you doing this weekend? One Friday, I gotta go and do an episode, and then I gotta edit it, then I gotta post it, then I gotta go and do a couple other stuff. I gotta make sure a lot of other stuff is like put up, and I not this weekend. I'm super busy. If I get my stuff pushed up early enough, yeah, I would love to have weekends off, but I'm usually busy. Usually if we get everything set up, like I want to get stuff set up like during the week so you don't have to worry about it, but
Right.
it's so fucking difficult, especially with your
Yeah.
schedule and my schedule. So
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. All right, so we're gonna end it on this nerd note here. Um, Going back to 1983, Return of the Jedi on the set, right?
mm-hmm.
So we all know that Warwick Davis is the guy that played Wicket, the Ewok in Return of the Jedi, but he also played Willow in the
Mm-hmm.
movie of the same name. Okay. So
Aren't they bringing back Willow?
I don't know.
I thought I heard something about it.
If they do, it's going to be a complete redo, whole new cast. Because I mean, it's not exactly like Val Kilmer can say any lines right now.
He can. It's just going to be, oh, they're making a TV series.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so George Lucas gave him the part of Wicket, and he had a 5-minute scene. He was on screen for 5 minutes with Carrie Fisher. And I mean, of course, he finds her when she's unconscious after she crashes her speeder bike. He said that he remembered her being so kind that she would ask, because those Ewok costumes were god awful hot, right? She would ask him, are you okay in there? She would call him by his name. And in between takes, she'd reach down back behind the log that they were sitting on, pull out a carton of chocolate milk with a straw, and feed him chocolate milk and cookies in between takes.
That's awesome.
And he was like, that's all an 11-year-old Ewok could possibly wish for.
Yeah.
And so
I bet he cried the hardest when she passed.
Oh, yeah.
Because I cried a little bit, but I was like, oh, dear God. Oh, fucking Willow.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And that's why you really want to drag Kathleen Kennedy out into the streets by, with a rope and pitchforks and burning torches, and just have her drawn and quartered for fucking wasting the last years of Carrie Fisher's life on absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, they could have done the Heir to the Empire, been true to the source material, Timothy Zahn's post Jedi trilogy, and that would have been an amazing story. We still could have gotten the Solo twins. Ben would have still been a thing. Han would have never died. And we might have still lost Carrie Fisher, but you know what? We would have had something that would have been worthy of her. So, but with that being said, baseball, pull your head out of your ass. We need you. Past that, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
Thank you for watching Angry Me production of Nerd Sports. What happened to the victory?
Victory!
There we go.